I know that this is going to sound crazy, but I absolutely love objections. I love objection handling because that is where the art of sales lies, in being able to change somebody's perspective and be able to change their mind. However, I realize that the vast majority of you are not like me. You do not want to have any objections on your sales calls once you have dropped the price. And so in this video, I am going to show you how to pre-handle the most common objections that you can face in your discovery by sharing with you a coaching session that I did with one of my clients. Enjoy. If somebody jumps onto a sales call with you and they're like, I'm happy, like I'm in the position right now where I feel like everything is going fine, I don't really need any help. First and foremost, I don't believe you, because if everything's fine, why are you on the call?
Why are you here?
Yeah, why are you not going and enjoying your life or focusing on actually scaling your business? I don't get it, right? But I will give them some pushback and say something to the effect of, okay, so from what I'm understanding, where the business is right now, you are booking the ideal number of appointments, you're making the amount of money to the T, exactly how much you want to make, like absolutely everything is perfect. Or do you feel like there is room for some improvement? No, I do feel like there's some room for improvement. Okay, so when you're saying there's some room for improvement, when it comes to client acquisition, when it comes to appointment booking, what does that look like? Does that mean getting more appointments? Does that mean getting higher quality appointments? Now we're right back in the script, right? The money side of things, sometimes people can give you pushback on that. What I'm doing in that situation, if somebody does give me pushback on that, is like, I will say, look, I get it, Artem. This is the first time that I've ever met you. I know that this is a very personal question. And I promise you, the only reason why I'm asking this is because it's going to be a very different situation if, say, for example, right now you're making 10K per month and you want to scale to 100K per month. What we're going to need to do to get you to that 100K is going to be very different than if right now you're making 80K per month and you want to get to 100K per month. So in terms of where you are right now, roughly, how much are you making so I can support you as best as I can to actually getting to your goals? Desired monthly reoccurring revenue, people are usually pretty open about this. You won't get a lot of resistance on that front. One thing that you may find is that people have too smaller goals, right? They might be making 10K and say they want to make 15. That's not a big enough gap. You need to stretch the gap. Be like, is that the dream amount of money that you want to make? Or do you think realistically you could make more? Key thing that you do here is you then tag on to the back end the range that you kind of want them to fall in. Or do you realistically think you could make more, like say 20K or even 30K? Yeah, I think I could make 20 or 30K. Okay, and when you say 20 or 30K, are we leaning more towards 20 or are we leaning more towards 30? Other side of things is they could put a way too big a number on this. They could be at 2K and want to make 100K. Here you have to manage their expectations, right? Look, Artem, I'm not going to, I can't say if this is true for your particular situation, right? Based on your case studies, Artem. But what I would be saying in general is, look, Artem, I'm not going to say to you that we can't get you to 100K, right? We've done it before, but I want to be completely upfront and honest with you. What I would be more comfortable with is setting a target of 50K, because I know without question, like literally without question, if you come in, you put your head down, in the next 6 months, we can get you to that goal. But what I want to understand is that something that you are happy with? Is that something that would, make a difference in your life? Or are you telling me, Jack, no, unless I make 100K per month in the next 6 months, I'm going to be depressed? It's incredibly rare for people to come back and say, yeah, I'd be depressed. This doesn't work, right? When it comes to I know I'm going into a lot of detail, but I just want you to have full context. When it comes to the consequence side of things, you need to get agreement from them that they can't fix the problem by themselves. And if
That's what I don't get. That's what I don't get sometimes.
Okay. So when they say that they can fix the problem by themselves, now I want specifics. It's like, okay, fine. I don't know if you were on this call or if you weren't on this call, but I was talking about the fact that all I care about on the sales call is understanding the truth. It's not about the prospect saying what I want them to say. It's just about me getting clarity on reality unto itself, right? And what I mean by this is, I will take what you're saying at first, but at face value. If you are saying to me that you genuinely can accomplish this by yourself, justify that belief to me. And what I'm doing then is I'm saying to them, okay, so you feel like you can actually get the business by yourself from 10K per month all the way up to 50K per month. That's fine. Just so I have full clarity on this, Alton, what are you going to do exactly? Like, really, really specifically, what is your exact plan over the next 180 days to ensure without question and without fail that you are able to 5x your business? 99% of people do not have the answer to that question, right? And then they start to realize, okay, this is actually going to be a lot more complicated than I think. Then, when you get them to that stage, you can go down the pathway of, do you feel like it would be useful to have somebody in your corner to help you with this? Let's imagine there's two different situations, right? Awesome. I know that this is a little bit of a curveball question, but what's something that you're interested in? Like, it could be a sport, it could be music, something you're trying to get better at. What's something that you're interested in, Artem?
I don't know. Public speaking. Public speaking.
Public speaking. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go down the sports analogy pathway that I talked about in the product. Have you ever heard of a guy called Vin Go? Like the
Yeah.
public speaker? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, right now you want to get better at public speaking. Okay, so there's two different pathways, let's imagine, in front of you. One is where you do this by yourself, you watch YouTube videos, maybe you pick up some books and you learn how to get better at public speaking. The other version of the pathway is that you literally have Vin in your corner, working with you on a daily basis, helping you to improve your tonality, helping you to improve your enunciation, helping you to improve your gravitas when you are speaking on stage. 6 months down the line, in which situation do you think you would be better at public speaking? In the situation where you do it by yourself or when you have Vin by your corner?
Yeah, obviously the when I have Win by my corner.
Kind of the same thing with this, right?
Okay.
Right. And then now we have a little bit more buy-in. And then finally, now we've shifted their belief. We can come back to that question of, so what is like the like potentially what can happen if you try this again, it doesn't work, it fails. Like, what situation could that possibly put you in? Do you think that maybe you may be struggling with X, struggling with Y, struggling with Z? Here I'm giving them those options again to corner the conversation so I can push them in the direction I want them to go now. Okay.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't do this type of thing. I usually give them more of a. So typically, people come to us. A, they have a knowledge gap, and then B, I give them if they like I said to him, look, you have 35 years of marketing experience. You do lead generation for your clients. Why haven't you solved this problem on your own so far? Like, what has stopped you realistically from solving it on your own? So that's what I do, and then I go deeper with okay. So I give them options, knowledge or efficiency. So basically I try to handle I can do it by my own by saying to them, but like as a really entrepreneur that you would rather invest into a performance-based process which is proven to work for other people so you can save the money and time and actually get to your goals faster rather than trying to fix it on your own so far. Out of two options, like what do you feel? And they say usually both. And then I think maybe that's when I could tie into this, or where would you do this essentially?
Tie into what specifically?
Because I like how you do it. People when I close them, they admitted to me that they literally said to me in line of questioning, "Without you, I cannot get there." Like they said to me, and I haven't even said whatever I do. Like they literally told me by me asking them questions. So when I had this, I'm clear that okay, there's the buy-in. Now it's as if I don't get to the stage of this buy-in. It's more of a yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I might not get there, but still, maybe I can do LinkedIn posting, and it might get me somewhere, which is nonsense.
It's the same thing. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. Just help me to understand when you're saying that you can do LinkedIn, what is your exact strategy to ensure in the next 6 months, yada, 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 yada. We're
Yeah,
going to
there.
the same place.
What would be the next like tie-in for you? Like, what is the closing? So basically, consequence and commitment. Like, I think I don't tie in consequence and commitment question. What is the consequence and commitment? So like, I asked them. So with the current process, like, how close do you feel that you are to get into 50K per month?
Yeah, that's the question that I asked. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's important that you phrase that question in the right way, right? The way that I do it is, okay, so I have a question that I want to ask you, Artem, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm a little bit hesitant to ask it. I understand that you want to get to the point where you're making 50K per month, you're able to spend more time with your kids, you're able to have that location freedom, etc. But with the systems and the understanding that you have in place right now, realistically,
Mhm.
how close do you feel like you are to actually achieving all of those things? So I'm approaching the question with a lot of with me being very tentative, right? And putting those emotions, the anxiety into the call
Mhm.
so that the prospect is more likely to feel that anxiety as well and follow that path to going into the consequence. Whereas if you just deliver it like every other question, they're less likely to do so because you're not putting the emotional weight to it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I don't do. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me now. Okay. And that's
Yeah.
logical. That's logical. Like if I ask them, yeah, can you get there? Yeah, yeah. So then I realize, okay, I need to then go deeper into problem again, and then it takes me like 20 minutes again to understand and let them realize that they cannot get there.
Yeah. Another thing, and this was a couple of minutes ago, is that you said that one of the questions that you're asking is, and what do you think is the biggest thing that's stopping you from accomplishing this on your own? For a lot of people, I say a lot, maybe like 2 or 3 out of 10 people, that triggers their ego. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I can do anything. I can do this. And then as a result, they say, I can do this by myself. Even though maybe inherently they understand that that's not the case, but they're protecting their ego and they're protecting their pride.
Mhm.
So instead, again, you have to be tentative with how you phrase that question. Just help me to understand, Artem. Obviously, I know that you've been working on this for the last X number of months. I guess what do you feel like has potentially got in the way of you being able to, I don't know, figure this out on your own? The language is a
Mm.
lot softer,
Mhm.
which means we're less likely to trigger that ego, which means we're much more likely to get an honest response. As always, I hope you got a disgusting amount of value from that video. If you want to like it, like it. If you want to subscribe so that you can get more value moving forward, feel free to do so. And most importantly, if you want to just move at speed, which is probably the reason why you're in this space in the first place, there is a link in the description where you can book in a call with me directly and I can show you how we can add a minimum of $20,000 to your monthly recurring revenue in the next 6 months. But with all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time and I will see you just now.